What is something you wished you knew before having sex? As the great Josh Wolf once said, that the hole was so far back. Babies don't come out the butt. What in tarnation is that thing below the penis? It looks like something that was supposed to belong inside the body, but it's just there. I don't know, it freaked me out and still does a bit when I stare at them. Like I don't know, balls just don't look right and they're so tender, like why are they even there? It's like having your kindy just like dangling from your armpit. I don't know. Okay, that's it, I'm done with the internet for today. You don't get your dick back after you put it in. Stanky pussy is not normal. My first hookup smelled like a combination of fish market, shit, and vomit. Didn't find out till my first real girlfriend that was not in fact normal. Red flags abounded. 2. Girl had meth mouth. That you can be allergic to comb. If it smells like cologne, leave it alone. That putting down a towel is a great plan and that having a couple of clean rags around are great for cleaning up afterwards. Before a shower. Go slow. Porn is a lot of like a sewing machine kinda shit. You gotta start slow, then build up. Like that Tenacious D song. What's the actual definition of stepsister? That I didn't need to do it so my boyfriend wouldn't break up with me. He definitely was not worth it. After you come in a condom, you need to hold the condom as you pull out, or else it'll stay in her, and possibly spill. That partner-on-partner rape is a thing and probably a red flag. That recovery time was a factor. He was nice about it, but I still felt embarrassed when he had to explain why he needed a few minutes. I shouldn't push myself to offer sex to folks when I dislike having sex. I'm asexual. No desire for sex whatsoever. And the act is annoying and awkwardly uncomfortable at best. Actively disgusting at worst. It's like being a gay woman with only men around to date. Zero interest or excitement. But I still want a close romantic relationship, so I ended up letting them know I was ace. And pushing myself to put out anyway. Under the impression they'd not care about romance if sex was off the table. Not fun to have that you're only valuable for your ability to hanging over every relationship. Anyway, I finally found a fellow ace and fell stupidly in love. And we're moving in together soon. We've been dating 8 months. Zero sex. And I'm happier than ever. Conclusion. Find someone who shares your sexual preferences. Whether that's feral shower sex every other day, or sweet lovemaking once a week, or just snuggling with little kisses and words of adoration. It's much better with someone you really love. As a woman, vaginal penetration shouldn't hurt. It'll be uncomfortable. Yeah. But it should not hurt. And it shouldn't make you bleed. If either of those things occur, it means A, you weren't aroused enough and either you or the other person rushed things. B, there wasn't enough lubricant involved, which directly connects to A. Or C, all of the above. How to make a woman orgasm. Hell, I'm a guy and I didn't nut the first time. R, username checks out? That I'd left the car in neutral. Air escaping makes noises. Don't laugh. It's not that special. I blame TV and movies for making it seem all magical and electrical and shit and giving me this fairy tale view of it before I did it. That I had a latex allergy. Your first time isn't a groundbreaking, earth-shattering experience. It will probably be over before you process what's happening. Where the clit is. Inside the belly button, right? That saving one's virginity isn't as romantic as it sounds. STI status. STI status. Has rod knock and needs a new head gasket. The smell. Like pheromones should be a thing they tell you about. Like avoiding people that smell bad to you because you're probably not gonna get along even if they're funny, kind or good looking. That virginity is the stupidest idea ever, and no, you don't magically change once a penis has entered your vagina. Girls have a separate wee hole. Leave the shorts at knee level to avoid rug burn. Pee after. Being able to have sex in an actual bed is way better than sneaking around in cars, outdoors. If you just spent like 17 years beating your meat every day, it'll be incredibly hard to come, especially if you're not in comfortable positions and if you're going to have regular sex. Stop jerking off. It's going to be really awkward for the first dozen times or so until you get used to it. Once you're more comfortable, then you can start having fun. How much Microsoft shares were going to climb so I could have purchased some afterwards. That you don't have to have sex with a fella just cause they said you were sexy. Should have bought a dozen condoms and figured out how to put it on. I went through like 4 before I got the damn thing on. How far back the hole of the vagina really is. First time doing the dirty, I was poking my dick around the top of the vagina. In my head I blue screened for a couple seconds. This is going to be an interesting and fairly boring until you figure out you're the wrong anatomy. Bathe yourself thoroughly right before getting it on. Lick it before you stick it. A lot messier than you'd think. Bring a towel. Don't fake orgasms. Hard to go back when you don't value your cum as just as important as his. That big dicks are overrated and painful. A penis is not a heat-seeking missile and men usually need their hands to put it in. The squishy, suction noise is also a good name for a punk rock band. If she says, you don't need a condom, you definitely need one. It's 100% better when you're actually ready, and not just being pressured. Is she just having sex with me out of pity, or does she actually want it as much as I do? Smell test. Always smell test. Christ in a cross. Man, I pictured some dude casually taking a 2-fingered stroke, then sniffing his fingertips intently, like a fine wine connoisseur. Maybe even a bit of lick and spit like the winos do. It's more like you find a super quick moment to smell your fingers without her noticing. I usually do it when kissing the neck and then bringing my hand up behind her neck to bring the fingers down the back. Boom, quick whiff and you know if you're good or not. Lol, this got sort of graphic but it saved me some nasty head a couple times. That you need another person involved before you can consider it sex. Her name. Dick size doesn't matter. Be confident with what you've got. If you are unfortunate enough to have a small pecker, you aren't necessarily down for the count. You just gotta step up your finger game, and get the fastest hands in the West. It does not equal love. It's extremely overrated. All you hear about is sex. 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 In advertising, marketing, in TV shows, in movies. Sex with my partner who I love deeply and have an amazing emotional bond with is pretty nice, but sometimes 10 minutes of sweaty, flesh bumping is not what I want or need at the end of the day. What I appreciate more than that is having somebody to talk to, laugh with, and share life's ups and downs with. Sex is a small portion of what there is to enjoy with someone else. Hey dude, you have some sexual trauma from grade 9 you need to deal with. See a therapist now rather than figuring this shit out after everyone hates you. That what I had to work with was perfectly adequate for the job. Maybe there is a legitimate reason to keep porn from kids. That my PP gets sick when it's happy too much. Foreplay is super important. If anything, spend some time kissing her stomach and touching legs. Licking the nipples is another plus. I didn't have sex until I was 19. When I finally did, I couldn't finish, and I remember telling her that I wouldn't be able to ejaculate unless I was with someone I loved. Yep. I was a dumbass. That the girl would murder her mother 4 years later. Wash your ass. The average size of a penis would have eliminated a lot of anxiety. That as a lady you probably won't finish from penetration alone, and that's okay. You don't have to fake it, and lying to your partner about finishing just encourages them to keep being uninformed about what future female partners may need. My girlfriend needed to trim her fingernails. She was way too eager and there was some unpleasant scrapping. Seriously, kids, trim your nails before fingering someone. Lube. Use some lube. My ex and I tried having sex a few times, but due to pain on her end it didn't really work out and our relationship suffered as a result. That dicks completely have a mind of their own. Aroused does not always equal hard and ready to go. You cannot plan out in advance your sexual encounters. My first time was not planned. It was more of a shoot your shot. That you need a level of situational awareness when your girlfriend is busy taking your virginity in her mom's bed. That you should be turned on, really physically aroused. Before doing it, Seems stupid, but I guess I didn't know. I just wanted to get it over with. How to have sex. You don't have to be randomly making the moaning sounds. You make them when you actually do feel pleasure. After seeing porn, I sorta faked it my first few times until I learned to just let it go and focus on myself rather than assuring partner that it's all so great. That is would ruin a friendship that lasted from pre-K up till sophomore year. Demand a condom. People lie all the time. Don't risk your life and your future on somebody's word. That it's not that big of a deal. I spent the first 20 years of my life completely obsessed with it. It's great. But I should have given my arm a break. I remember the first time I told one of my buddies I lost my virginity. I thought he was gonna be super excited for me and congratulate me. If not for losing my virginity, then for who I lost it to. We both went to school with her and she was very attractive, popular. Instead he said, "Not that cool, huh?" And suddenly I realized that this thing I had constantly thought about since I was 12 is just kind of fun but not really life-altering like I thought it'd be. My group of friends gave me so much shit for being a virgin. I figured I was missing out on something spectacular, but it was just sex. Hard to explain to somebody who's never had sex, but I feel like most people can relate. Edit. Thanks for the silver. I'm glad I can put so many of your guys' mind at ease. If you're really worried about it, just take that step and put yourself out there. But I wouldn't sweat it. Take it from someone who has never had a relationship and only had sex with random people. Sex causes a lot more bullshit than it's worth. I'm 38. It took me until a few years ago to realize that sex is almost never just sex. It's gonna involve feelings, power dynamics, expectations of reciprocity, or some combination of those. Even when all signs point to just sex, it's not. How to not be painfully shy. Age of consent. Hold up.